Ready?
Yep.
Welcome to Sports Back Talk with Bully and Ringer. Show 2 of year, 4? Are we calling it? Your hair looks awesome, Bully. It looks awesome, as always. So, here we go.
And she's laughing at me.
Well, of course she's laughing at us. She's like, they're taping a TV show about sports that...
She's going, which one?
Crazy. So what'd you learn about the NFL this weekend?
Well, I learned, one thing I learned is, and I already knew it, is the best quarterback in the NFL is...
I was busy last night. When I left the house about 8 o'clock, as we taped this on Monday night, I left the house, it was just after 8 o'clock, and the Chicago Bears were in complete domination on that game. I get done doing my stuff at school, I'm just ready to leave. It's about 10:45, and I pick up my phone and I look at it, and they got this tweet about Aaron Rodgers blah, 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 comes back, and I'm like, what did he do? So I had to go home and watch SportsCenter and hear all about it.
It would have broke your heart. I mean, if
If I'd have been watching
you're
it live.
like anti-Green Bay, I'm not anti-Green Bay. I respect great players.
Sure. Oh,
Okay, and Aaron Rodgers is a great player.
Sure.
So I give all the kudos in the world. The one thing I didn't like is Chicago with their new coach. I mean, they were all over the place. They were aggressive, running a bunch of different formations, a bunch of different plays. They were using Tariq Cohen. He's kind of their second back, but if you remember, Gage comes from the Kansas City Chiefs. Okay. So he's using him like Tyreek Hill's been used for the Chiefs.
Sure.
Well, he had a great first half. He's getting the ball. He's in motion. He's all over the field. He's running some wildcat. Trubisky was aggressive,
Wow.
and they got up 20-0, Ringer, and all of a sudden the coach quit being aggressive. And that had a lot more to do with it, I think, than in Chicago losing that game. I mean, Rodgers had to bring him back from, get scored 24 points and 21 in the fourth quarter. But to me, Chicago could have ended that game earlier on, and there wouldn't have been that big comeback. So Vikings, Green Bay next week, 1-0 each.
Yeah, it ought to be exciting. I assume that it's a noon game. I haven't even looked.
I thought it was. It's not a Sunday night.
Can't be. They couldn't
Monday
play
night,
Sunday
not
night.
back-to-back Sunday
I
nights.
can't believe that.
So I'm going to say it's a noon game then.
Okay. It ought to be interesting. What else did you learn about in the NFL? You know who the best quarterback is?
Yeah, it's such disappointment. Cleveland. They should have. Well, Pittsburgh was up 21-7. You got to give Cleveland credit for coming back in that one. And my boy James Conner, who was a 10th round draft pick of Team Marino, came up big with a 31 point effort.
Nice.
In fantasy. So I liked how Pittsburgh played, but they gave up the 2 late touchdowns, and neither field goal kicker could hit a 40-yarder, and ends up in a boring tie, 21-21. Let's go.
First tie to open in a season opening game since they went to the tiebreak, since they started playing overtime. So since 1971. So kind of an interesting.
Who's in that game?
Ooh, I don't know. Did you hear the stat today?
I know the Lions were one team, and I can't remember if might have been the Packers, but I know the Lions were one of them.
Well, I think the thing I found out is that.
Do you know, 1971, Brent Larson was probably at the Daily Journal doing sports. Would that be right, Brent, or? No. He's not answering. Okay, he would have been a little bit after that. He would have been probably 73, 74. Yeah, but you were above the curve. They would have hired you as a sophomore.
Well, the thing that I learned is that
Brent's glad he came tonight.
I'm sure he's just so pleased that he decided to come in at this time.
Everybody knows who Brent Larson is. Him and Ronnie Schoon over, and then David Nevin, and it was like a nice group of enthusiastic, passionate sports writers for the Daily Journal. And they all graduated from Falls High, and they did a good job.
I believe. Hey, anybody who's
I like to reminisce with people I don't know.
So the thing I found out is that the Buffalo Bills are on the clock.
Yeah,
they are on the clock for the #1 draft pick. That was pathetic, for lack of a better term. And I'm kind of riding on the coattails of Scott Van Pelt last night. This is where that was his mantra. They are on the clock, and so I don't know if that team's gonna. How can they were in the playoffs 2 years ago, weren't they?
I believe so, and Shady McCoy was actually a good running back the last 2 years. And
What's...
I don't know what's going on. That thing's a mess. They overvalued Josh Allen, well, he's a
Quarterback
backup.
out of Wyoming.
Pretty bad when he's a backup in Buffalo behind Nathan Peterman. But that thing's a whole mess, and it's a disaster. And it's the only thing I can think of that's worse would be the Oakland Raiders trading away Khalil Mack after we watched them.
Ooh.
But staying on Buffalo, yeah, it's the Vikings play them in week 4, and that'll be an easy win for the Vikings, obviously. So we're going to get at least 2 wins this year. Right?
So you're saying the Raiders made a mistake?
Oh, huge mistake. This guy's a once-in-a-lifetime linebacker. I mean, he's up there with the Singletaries and Butkus, and I mean, that's what Chicago needed, was another high-end linebacker. He's not a middle linebacker like Butkus and
Right,
Singletary. He's an outside, basically, pass rusher. And he's so talented, skilled, fast, works hard.
So I'm sure you have probably a little more of the insight on this, but
I probably
basically
do.
the Raiders couldn't sign him. And so they said, you ain't coming to camp? Gruden said, I've had enough. I'm sending you down
The Raiders could have signed him, Ringer. They just didn't value him as high as what he wanted.
Okay.
What's he getting? About 25, 20. I mean, the highest paid defensive player in football, but he's the best defensive player. He's a difference maker. I mean, he stole the ball away from
not Rodgers.
Deshaun Kaiser, just took it away from him when they were driving, and then later on intercepts Kaiser. Kaiser and him are good friends, and he runs it in the end zone for a touchdown. So he was responsible for 14 points difference in Chicago and Green Bay right there. And if you watched him on that last play trying to chase down Randall Cobb, I mean, it was amazing. The guy was 10 yards behind and he almost caught him, but superstar player with an attitude, according to Oakland, right?
Yeah.
They don't come back and chase down wide receivers, and he did. And I heard he was well liked in the locker room, so all the players were kind of in disbelief when they traded him. You know, 2 first-rounders, everybody looks at that and goes, wow, that's a lot to give up. But, boy, Oakland, I think it's a mistake, and they could regret that for a while.
What about Pittsburgh and Le'Veon Bell? Are they, what's going to happen? What's going to happen, or maybe what should happen?
Well, it's unfortunate. Maurice Jones-Drew comes out, next running back, who I believe sat out himself for over a contract dispute. We all remember Maurice Jones-Drew, but he recommended that Le'Veon Bell sits out till week 11. And then if he plays week 11, he automatically becomes a free agent. Automatically. So anybody can sign him for next year.
Okay.
That's not the case if Le'Veon Bell does sign somewhere down the road, then he's right back to where he is now. Which is what, $12 million for this year? Not a bad gig.
Not a bad
If he goes
gig.
in there and you know, running backs, believe it or not, I mean, they are a dime a dozen. James Conner went in there yesterday and gained 135 yards rushing, another 68 yards receiving, 2 touchdowns. I mean, right there, did Buffalo or did Pittsburgh try to prove a point last night by saying, okay, we can do it with a backup.
Right.
Okay, why do we have to pay you $14 million a year? Just because you put up numbers? Yeah, well, that's a good reason. But you know, Le'Veon Bell he's a unique player, and my guess, Ringer, is he gets signed by week 3.
Okay.
And probably doesn't play week 3, but probably starts in week 4, which is good for me. I got both Le'Veon Bell and James Conner. We can only play a guy 11 times anyway, so this has been a big benefit to me. Did I tell you all my fantasy team did?
Well, that was going to be my next question. How is the fantasy?
Well,
we got 2 games left, of course.
Ringer, I have Phillip Rivers. I have
Yeah,
Emmanuel
big
Sanders,
Okay.
James Conner, Alex Collins that didn't play much in the second half because of the Buffalo whitewash, so he plays for Baltimore. But basically, I'm going to score the most points this week.
Nice.
And for field weeks, we get an extra $25 or 25 potato chips, and that's for getting the high score of the week. So
Nice.
I'm off to a 1-0 start, and I have a feeling a lot of teams are going to be chasing me this year.
I like the attitude.
Well, you gotta have
you're
attitude.
feeling it.
Yeah, I'm not trading any of my players either.
Well, Well, we know that that's a blatant utter lie, but so what? We got Monday night games. We got Detroit at the Jets. We already found out that Darnold's first pass as a Jet was a pick six for the Lions. So I'm not a Sam Darnold fan. I'm not. So
No, I think you said that to me earlier in a off-the-camera situation.
So this does not surprise me.
No, I mean, rookie quarterbacks have a hard time in this league. You know, Deshaun Watson, he obviously got it. Andrew Luck was the extreme. RG3 was very good.
Yeah.
But then ever since he was very good rookie, he's kind of regressed. So being an NFL quarterback in the NFL, I just kind of said the same thing. Being a quarterback in the NFL is not an easy job. It's very difficult. And once they know your tendencies and now they got all the analytics. They know your strong suits. They know your weaknesses. So they play to them, and eventually, like Sam Darnold found out right away that they knew what his weakness was, and he's probably locked himself on a receiver, and bang, we got 6 points going the other way. But I think Darnold will be fine. I'm not like you. I don't hate the guy. I think the best of the whole group is Josh Rosen, who could get a shot next week for Arizona. And your best buddy is the Vikings quarterback, Sam Bradford.
Sam Bradford.
Because you and Sam are tight.
Right.
And so looks like Sam is going to be one and done. Teddy Bridgewater, you know, all the Vikings, some of these pundits, they all came out, oh, we can't lose all these great quarterbacks. Yeah, we can. Although Keenum did have a good game yesterday.
He did. Keenum looked
adequate.
Okay, so that's all right. What do you think about the Vikes yesterday?
Solid. Again, I thought they quit attacking. It seems like a lot of NFL teams do that. They try not to make mistakes, so they quit attacking the game. You know, in today's game, it's a passing game. You know, spread four out. Let's try to hit them. I think that offensive line is an issue. And they're going to have a hard time. Not so much maybe with Green Bay, but the Chicagos of the world. Teams with good front fours are going to give the Vikings a hard time. And hopefully by then, Elflein will be back, and Remmers and Riley Reef will both be healthy, and I think we'll be all right. We just need a few guys back. Did the new guy play? The guy we got from the Giants?
I don't know if he did or not. I don't think so.
I very rarely watch the offensive linemen. To me, they're just,
they're just there.
They're cones. Get in the way so the running backs can, do their magic, and the quarterback can find his receivers. What do you think of that?
He's full of crap, but that's all right. Where was it? Oh, the running back.
Cook looked really good.
Looked really good,
especially early on, the first quarter. Yeah, the first fumble kind of regressed a little.
Let me ask this question. It seemed like every time they threw him the ball, big play.
Yeah.
When he was running the ball, they knew that he was running the ball.
Yeah.
Is he or somebody on the team tipping off that he is running the ball on a certain play? Does he have his hands in a certain place? Does he come up and adjust it? Because they knew somebody was blitzing through. They knew they hit the spot every time. And I listened to most of the game on the radio. But as soon as I started watching it when I got home, first thing I noticed is every time they went to hand him off the ball, there was a jersey standing in the backfield with the wrong color. And I just somebody's tipping something off. It could be him. It could be Kirk Cousins. It could be a lineman. Somebody's giving off that they're handing the ball off to Dalvin Cook. And it did seem like Murray had that same issue. So to me, it's Cook that's got the issue. So I don't know.
Valid point. I haven't watched the film yet. I am going to watch it tonight before I go to bed. But as soon as I watch that film study, I'll report back to you next week.
I would appreciate that. So
you think I'm really going to do that?
Yeah, you've got two other games to watch tonight. So
one. By the time the show's over, the first game will be over.
Those NFL games take forever. Your NFL games take forever. You'll be home long before you.
It is the only one that we have a double header on Monday night for the year.
Correct. Because I was going to go back. So second game. Oakland and the LA, that's not anymore staying up for, is what
I don't think so. The only reason I'm going to watch is to watch John Gruden on the sidelines.
That's a valid point.
Did you see the Frank Caliendo?
I did not see it.
Gosh. He plays both, who's Al Davis' son? Mike Davis?
Mike sounds right.
Whatever. But he plays him, and he plays, of course, Gruden. John Gruden.
Yeah.
And it's a makeover on the movie Hangover. so classic. And Carrot Top's in it.
Okay.
It's based in Vegas where
Sure.
Oakland is going. So if you haven't seen it,
I'm
it
sure
will be
it's up on
yeah, it'll
YouTube.
be on ESPN about 20 times a day.
There you go. So. Anything else on the NFL you want?
I really don't have much else. Again, I give credit where credit's due. I'm not a Packers fan, but boy, Rodgers, just that's amazing stuff.
So the injury, we didn't bring that up.
I still think there's probably a medial collateral or an ACL sprain.
So you
Probably
think they put the old drugs in the knee? He couldn't have feel. You could hit him with a bat and he wouldn't have felt the type of thing.
I don't think so. A sprain nowadays. I mean, I had a sprain in college my senior year, and they put me in a cast for 6 weeks. Yeah, sprain nowadays they can wrap it up, put a brace on and protect it. So he did say that the doctors told him he couldn't injure it anymore, which leads me to believe that it's not a sprain, because a sprain can definitely tear in a heartbeat. So either he's lying, which I know Aaron Rodgers never does, or it's something else. It's America. He's the boy. He's the man. Aaron Rodgers.
Fair enough.
Do you like Aaron Rodgers?
I believe that he is one of the best quarterbacks of all time. So, but he plays for the wrong team, so I can't really like him.
So I play for the love of the game, or I watch for the love of the game, and for fantasy football. See, if I had him in fantasy football, he'd been my boy.
So, did you watch the Gophers on Saturday night?
I did watch parts of it. One of the most amazing plays I've seen by a Gopher, Antoine Winfield Jr. at the end of that game, basically coming up with a game-winning interception, but it shouldn't have come down to that. This is Fresno State.
Well, we lost our best running back, though, for the season.
Again, we go back to that running back thing. I mean,
just plug the next guy in?
Yeah, I lose 20 pounds, I could play running back for the Gophers. Okay, 50 pounds. Okay, 70 pounds. No, I just look at the senior running back was not the difference in that game. It's, I like the new quarterback. He's cute. He's a young freshman, true freshman as they call him, and it's a young team. They will get better, but they should beat Fresno by at least 10 to 12.
Well, I did not watch a play of it. I was keeping tabs on it while I was at the concert.
You're in Metallica.
I was at Metallica.
You're banging your head against the wall.
I got things to do. I got things to watch.
They did sing Nothing Else Matters.
Nothing Else Matters. Yeah, they sing most of the classics, Seek and Destroy and the whole 9 yards. So they put on about a 2.5 hour, 2 hour and 25 minute show. They did things well. I expected it to be more energetic, more running around, whatever else. But they played in the round, so they put the stage right on the 50-yard line of the Alaris Center, and they had microphones all over the place. But
I respect you. I mean, being a person of notoriety in our town, and then you're going to a headbanging concert like Metallica. I mean,
well, see, here's the thing now. 3 years ago, AC/DC.
I know.
2 years ago, Kiss. Last year, Guns N' Roses. So I couldn't really miss out on Metallica.
And I feel like I'm, going to Styx is illegal. I mean.
And what about Fleetwood Mac?
I got Fleetwood Mac tickets. I got to get rid of 2 of them. I can't go, but
that would I don't know. With Lindsey Buckingham not there?
No, Lindsey's not there.
Is it really Fleetwood Mac?
Well, you got Michael Campbell, lead guitar for Tom Petty, and then you got, who is it, the Crowded House lead singer? He ain't all bad.
Hey,
but you said Metallica really never got into it. The drummer Lars Ulrich or whatever his name is. He's
the most run around kind of guy, and it's tough to run around when you're the drummer. So, but like I said, they got the crowd going, and they had the good effects and everything else. So,
did you ever watch The Little Drummer Boy?
Did I ever watch The Little Drummer Boy? Yeah. No.
Okay. Did he ever get into it when he was playing the drums?
No. Okay. So, anything else from college football from the weekend?
Well, I think we pretty much brought everything up. Kentucky did beat Florida State for the first time in 51 years. Florida, 51 years. I saw Jimbo Fisher losing it on the sidelines for Texas A&M at a ref.
So, as long as you brought that up, they kind of did it on SportsCenter last night. They talked about the Texas A&M fumble that they said went through into the end zone was a touchback, which
Yeah.
clearly it wasn't. But
Yeah.
I mean, I guess there's not enough evidence there to overturn the call. Okay, so then they had the touchdown for Denver yesterday that won the game. Now you tell me that when that guy caught the football, his right foot was on the ground. Whoever overruled that in the NFL should lose his job. I don't know. And then there was another fumble that went forward yesterday, and I don't even know who it was. I don't remember. And they reviewed the son of a gun, and it's still, what the is going on?
Yeah, I agree. Sometimes
this replay stuff is supposed to be
sometimes you wonder if they want to overrule the ref more than do they want to overturn the play. They don't want to make their refs look bad, but who's looking bad? The people in New York.
Yeah.
So something will be done, something will be said. You're right. Somebody could lose a job over it because I don't know. The NFL was tolerable. I was expecting lots of stupid penalties. I thought the penalty on the Vikings player, who's their new guy, Richardson.
Yeah.
Yeah, he hit the guy late.
landed
He
on
did.
top of him.
He did. That's a good call, and that's what I want to be called. But a lot of them they make up, or
He was impressive, by the way, Richardson.
Yeah.
He was
very
wow.
good. It's Linville Joe. Well, again, we're talking about the trenches. Who's watching that? I'm watching the athletes.
You should be watching number 93. There was a play. He went down the line of scrimmage. He was on this side
Is
of the
that
football.
Griffin?
Richardson. And
Okay.
he goes to the other side of the ball. He chases the play down and tackles the guy for no gain. Those guys
bad
don't
blocking.
exist all over the place. This
Bad blocking.
maybe. I want to give credit to the guy in purple. I think.
Of course, I'm just teasing.
I think-
Offensive and defensive linemen are the core of the team, and if you don't have good ones, your team will not move the ball, or you will not stop anybody.
So
How about that?
I think the Vikes are pretty good up front. I think they got four really
I
good
think
guys
so
up
too.
front.
I think we're good in the secondary. We could maybe use one more linebacker. That Kittle's kind of hurt the Vikings a little bit with that misdirection play. I mean, I can understand them getting away with it one time. They did it 4 times, and you could see the Vikings coach is screaming like, "Come on, you need to read that better." And
Right.
it was more, I think, on Kendricks than anybody, but Gedeon, the other linebacker, was a little out of position. So, again, we can't have 11 Pro Bowlers on defense. You couldn't afford it.
No, absolutely.
So, is that enough on football? I'm exhausted.
Oh, so you want to talk about the Twins?
Oh, boy.
Well, I thought we should probably bring up the Twins once we go back to last April when I think we both picked the Twins would be above 500. And
I don't believe I said that.
I believe that my buddy to my right told us that the Twins would win the Central Division. I think that's what he said. I think with 89 wins, I think
Believe that video's been tossed.
been burnt and taken off the internet. No longer there. Yeah, it's been a tough spin. I'll ask this question and see if we can get through this. By the fact that the Twins did not bring up Byron Buxton
Yeah.
when they made their 40-man roster, when they got to call up 14, 15 guys, whatever it is, what is that telling Byron Buxton?
I think he's still injured. That's what it's telling me. I don't know what it's
Okay.
telling Byron Buxton, but if he's healthy and they didn't bring him up, and we got Cave and Grossman and all these guys, I think there's issues in the front office and the coaching. I mean, I look at that Twins lineup now, and they got 7 guys a night that are minor league players, and it's bothersome. I'm sorry, the Cave guy's a cute little fella, and Grossman's cute. But when you're batting Grossman 4th and Cave 5th, these are singles line drive hitters. That's what they are. And Forsythe, he's our best player. Something's wrong, and Rosario made moves, but now Kepler's regressed. You think he's had like 1 extra base hit since the All-Star game. And again, I think we overvalued the youth of this team, much like the Wilds overvalue the youth of their team. And that's another day and another story. But sometimes these up-and-coming superstars read too much of the papers. Did you know Brent Larson wrote for the Daily Journal?
I think I heard that Brent Larson
So,
did write for the Journal back in the 70s.
So anyways, some of these sports writers, newspaper guys, overvalue these players, and Brent would have never done that.
Oh. The hedge. What the anyway. Where are we going next?
I don't
NBA? No.
Mystic.
Yeah?
And,
Mystic's going to come back?
Seattle Storm.
Seattle Storm up to...
Seattle Storm's kind of like the new Minnesota Lynx for the next 4 years.
I think you could be right. What about the U.S. Open? You want to talk about Serena and her meltdown, or...
No, not really. The only thing I didn't like about it is the young gal who actually won.
Huh?
She's basically thrown off to the side, and
Yeah,
she
was
even
her
said
first
she
Grand
moved
Slam.
over to America when she was 3 years old and looked up to Serena, and all she wanted to do was be the next Serena Williams, and Serena basically did McEnroe. She basically McEnroed on her, and all about me and not about the game and the match, and that's the only unfortunate thing. Serena Williams does deserve the benefit of the doubt, but not to that extent.
Okay.
What do you think?
She seems to have these championship matches where things start going wrong early, and then all of a sudden she starts casting blame and doing things that aren't how she... I'll maybe say it this way: how her dad didn't teach her to play. I think her dad taught her to be aggressive and everything else, but when things are going wrong, zip your lips. They've been that way their entire careers, both her and Venus. They just, when things seem to be going wrong, whatever, they just turn and walk away. And for whatever reason, she couldn't turn and walk away from this umpire who I think she has felt not only was screwing her to the wall, but has done it to other major players. And they listed them on Sports Center last night.
Oh, really?
He went after
Conspiracy,
Venus.
you're saying, in women's tennis.
He went after Venus. He went after Djokovic, and Andy Murray had a big problem with him a couple years ago too. So I think maybe she went in with a little chip on her shoulder because this guy was the umpire, the chair umpire for this match, and I think got her off kilter.
So the umpire's kind of an underdog guy.
Could be.
Could be.
So
Well, that makes sense.
anyway,
I do miss the days of Johnny. He's like my favorite tennis player of all time.
Johnny Mac.
Oh, I loved him because he had personality and he showed his emotions. And although he was overboard a lot of times, I tuned in to watch him. You know how much tennis I watch now?
Probably about 5 minutes a year.
About as much as a person in Looney's Brew watches it. The TV's never on. Okay, this is a sociable place.
They could have turned it on so we could have saw Sam Darnold's.
Look at everybody. They're all talking to each other. Nobody's on their phones here. They're all socializing. I think they like each other, but I don't know that for sure. I think Brent's had it with me, but what else?
Hey, the Lakers, Fort Francis Lakers, got their junior hockey season started over the weekend with a.
Jeez, and just in the nick of time. It's barely September.
It's they got their first 2 preseason.
And they go
games
till like August of next year. So they got 11 months they play and they take a month off.
So they got 2 preseason game in. They got 2 against Red Lake coming up.
How are they looking this
weekend?
year?
They've won both times over the Minnesota Iron
Well,
Rangers.
didn't ask that. What's your scouting report?
I have no scouting report. I'll be honest with you.
Any Falls kids playing or?
I do not believe there are any Falls kids played for the Lakers this year.
Okay.
I think I saw 1 or 2 Fort Francis kids on the list of kids who played over the weekend. So,
Some of the players we would recognize, you and I, from announcing their games, or?
and he had a goal in last night's game, and I'm trying to think what the heck his name is right now, and it's not sticking.
Okay,
with me.
no big deal. So the Lakers are in action.
Lakers
So
play at home.
you're looking to get your hockey fix. Check out the schedule. Go over there and check out a game.
Pretty much their schedule early on is Friday, Saturday. Just like the colleges. They play
Good.
Friday, Saturday.
I think that's a good
Friday,
idea.
Saturday. Once the snow starts flying, then they put in a Tuesday or a Wednesday game here, but almost exclusively every Friday and Saturday they're playing. That's how their schedule is this year. So
Because the roads are safer on weekdays in Canada?
I don't know why they kind of went to that. Maybe because they want to try to get those kids into that college routine a little bit. They're playing on Fridays and Saturdays, playing back-to-back, so they got a lot of games where they'll play in Thief River Falls one night, then they come back and play Thief River Falls the next night at home, or vice versa, that type of thing. So their schedule has a lot
Still
of...
got a team in Aurora, the range team?
The Minnesota Iron Rangers, that's who they played this weekend. They played down in White Lakes on Saturday and played at home on Sunday night.
You ever been to that?
I had been to there once to watch the girls, Bronco girls hockey team play down there. I didn't game.
Okay, I've been down there for a Laker game. That's when Lucas and Mason Myers were playing.
Sure.
And me and my buddy Brad Olson took a trip down, and we enjoyed it. What I thought was cool, and I'm not out advocating this, but you're in an arena, which I always looked at as a high school arena, is they serve beer. You can have a beer while
There you
you're
go.
watching the game, so
What the heck, why not?
anyways,
So,
thought that was a little unique.
what else we got going on?
I don't know. High school things are happening. All the Falls teams are in action. The Bronco football team, where are they at this weekend?
They will be at home against Moose Lake Willow River this week, 7 o'clock at the sports stadium. Of course, next week is homecoming. So
Yes,
it'll be
it's next weekend. Okay.
starting on the 17th, so it'll be a busy week, and of course, a lot of revamping.
Little Fork, same time or
Little Fork plays at 7 o'clock on
no? As
Friday.
far as their homecoming.
Same week.
Same week.
Same exact week. So, yeah, Little Fork put 3 touchdowns up on the board last week. Only lost 32-24 to Calgary Northland.
Okay.
I liked it. So,
Good.
We'll see how things go. Of course, the Falls. The arena got new concrete and new
Yeah.
boards, and the benches are going to be on the same side, and 2 penalty boxes. So it's going to be great to see what
Which
happens.
side are they going to be on?
The penalty
east side?
boxes will be on the same side that the penalty box was on. The benches will be on the west side.
Well, they will. Really, I would have thought the opposite, but it doesn't matter either way. I think that's good because we leave the student section underneath the Bronco bench, which I guess is good.
So, and then of course, new dugouts going in at Sheila Field. I saw rafters going up today at school. The track got resurfaced and relined, so the track looks brand new.
So is this all about my voting yes on that
This is-
referendum?
I believe. Well, the track had been up for quite a while to get fixed.
Okay.
So it had a cycle, and they finally, that's more of a safety money.
Okay.
The dugouts that came from the Twins. A lot of the
Oh, nice.
half
Little
of the money
grants
came
and
from the
stuff,
Twins
sure.
from their community fund, and then Rainy River and the high school and the local teams put in the rest of the money to get the dugouts put in.
Awesome.
And then of course the one that you clicked yes for last fall.
That's arena.
That's
Strictly
the arena. So again, it's great to see that these things are being done. People are taking things by the horn and doing things. And of course, the school got new lights on the inside and in the hallways. It looks outstanding. The new sidewalk out front for safety to keep everybody on the proper side. So it's been a busy time around the school. It looks way different.
Have they cleaned your room up a little bit?
They cleaned the janitors worked around everybody. Give
Really?
props to the guys and the kids who worked around everybody who was putting in the new lights and everything else. They really
Got rid of the movie cameras so you can't just show movies during your class?
what?
Hey, we used to get, when I was in high school, we got those quite a bit. You know,
Yeah,
teacher didn't feel like teaching that day, he throws on a movie. And I'm not discrediting the teachers.
I don't-
I
I don't-
respect every
I don't-
teacher I had in Falls High, and they're
don't-
all, but
you
it was
don't
just
see
kind of
that too
funny.
much.
You don't see movies anymore.
Yeah, you don't.
I mean, I could see if they throw the Three Stooges on or something. Might be different.
Would be different. Yeah, we have not too much. of
They're
that.
informational movies, reptiles and snakes.
Are we ready to take some Q&A?
Yeah, let's go.
Lloyd's
Or else
been
I'm
waiting
gonna
over there. I
ruin
can
the
feel-
show here.
I can feel it at Paul. They've got
Questions
got
and
something.
answers. Let's get some questions and answers about sports.
Okay, do you guys disallow Twins prediction?
No, we didn't. Oh, sarcasm.
Sarcasm.
So, who do you think they're gonna win the Super Bowl?
What?
We
made
gave
our,
our prediction last week. You want to hear what they are?
we made our prediction
I picked the Vikings to win the Super Bowl this year
against.
over the New England Patriots.
You're sticking to that.
Oh yeah, New England Patriots are. They're going to be there for the next 10 years. Okay, let's just put them in that slot for another 10 years, and then the NFC is going to change a little bit. But this year it's going to be the Vikings, and the Vikings will win the Super Bowl.
And
Yeah.
I'm saying that the Vikings are going to lose to the Eagles in the NFC Championship game again, unfortunately, and the Eagles will play the Jags, and the Eagles will win again.
Repeat?
Repeat.
Philadelphia?
Yep.
Would you fall in love with all the people that threw beer bottles at the Vikings fans? or
Yeah.
what?
Hey, it all starts up front. I said this last week. They got a great offensive line. They got a great defensive line. That's where things are all made and happen. They maybe didn't look so good last Thursday night, but once the Eagles get Wentz back, get your boy
Did you hear the
Carson
door
Wentz
just
back.
now? More people coming in.
Once Carson Wentz comes back, look out.
So Carson Wentz, I heard he might be out long term, like
Oh.
another 5 to 7 weeks.
Okay.
If that was the case, though, they would put him on that pup list.
He's just resting them up.
We'll see.
Making sure he's
The
on-
way
make-
Foles
make-
played on Thursday night, they're probably
Might
going
get
to
him
need
back
him.
a little sooner.
But they got an easy game this weekend. What do they got? Cleveland?
I have not even
I think
looked
they
that far
do.
forward yet.
Philadelphia plays Cleveland this week. Anyways,
How
good,
about you? Who you
great
picking?
question.
Who you picking, Lloyd?
I agree with the New England and, probably Vikings. I don't know if Vikings can beat.
You're a smart man. That's been the best question of the day.
The thing about it is, the Eagles found some way last year to take care of everything that they've done. So there's some secret out there now that the New England, they've got a little chink in their armor there. There's something there.
I mean, remember, New England might be a little more hungry.
Could be.
When they've lost other championship games, it seems like they win the next Super Bowl. But I don't know.
I hope the Vikings win.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, that
We'll
would be
see.
nice.
I mean, again, we got 15 more weeks of this misery before we get there, so we'll see what happens. Uh-oh.
What else?
Look at him. He's got a piece of paper. That scares me.
Oh, I'm just wondering.
That means he went on.
Eat all these potato chips that you wish at one place.
Am I going to eat all the potato chips at one place?
That you win.
No. I mean, nowadays, if you notice, the bags are getting smaller,
Yeah.
or the bags are getting bigger, but the chips inside are getting smaller.
There's a lot
So,
more iron.
I'm gonna share it with people and then maybe bring it to the next place. What's your favorite kind of potato chip?
Salt and vinegar.
Yeah, I'm with you.
That's
Sour-
when
sour
Grits
cream and onion.
actually, they said like, hey, we're gonna leave you with just salt and vinegar.
Yeah,
For the grits, it's like, hey, that's our thing.
yeah.
No problem.
Dip or no dip?
So I got what do you think about the upcoming figure skating deal going on?
The figure skating deal going on.
Ringer, you know that. You take this one.
I don't know what you're talking about. Sorry.
Where was it at?
Just the season is coming up. People are starting to train in high school or whatever else, college. Figure skating is starting to happen again. What do you think about that?
Look at this. Look at
You
this.
got
Chrissy Yamaguchi planning a comeback?
What's going on, Maddie? Tell me what's going on. You gotta get me in the loop.
They're starting to train programs and starting to choreograph and have music and seasons are starting, man.
Is this
You're
like?
just saying in general. There's not something extra different going on. You're just saying.
Just saying, what do you think about the figure skating thing coming up?
Well, is this like the amateur? Like, is this like future Olympians?
I thought maybe there was something like big show coming, like the Disney on Ice thing or something was that I missed out on. You know, it's that time. The hockey players are starting to get their skates. The figure skaters are starting to get their skates. Absolutely, things are starting, and they got to get ready for their shows coming up in March. So.
I do know this. They're going to offer skating for young youths, 3 to 5 years old, through the Figure Skating Association, where kids can go out and learn how to skate. So that way, you don't have to maybe feel pressure to put them into hockey if your young son or grandson wants to play hockey. So they got a program where they're going to teach the kids how to skate, which I think is an amazing idea. So thanks to our International Falls Figure Skating Club for coming up with that idea, and there will be information in the local arenas so people can sign their kids up.
Have you ever seen?
So don't say I don't know anything about figure skating.
Have you ever seen the movie Cutting Edge?
Yes. Toe pick.
Yep.
Yep.
Let's go keep on with sports here. Well, this is sports, but it's intellectual. What do you think about the robotic team in International Falls?
The what?
Robotic team.
The robotics team.
Is that where, what's his name? Joey Glowak finished 22nd in?
No,
Was that fishing?
that was Benny Glowak, and that was fishing this weekend at the Tournament of Champions. That
I don't even know, what is robotics?
It's a robotic machine that they design and compete in competitions throughout the state.
You were waiting, you like sat at home and waited for this show to start today, didn't you?
No,
So you could ask, yes he did.
no, I'm just. I'm
been
trying
sitting
to
all
get a
summer.
robotic
I mean,
competition up here
My
for
head is
Icebox.
just pounding right
You're
now.
trying to get a robotics competition here for Icebox.
Yes.
Very interesting.
I will help you with that if you told me what it was. I don't even know what it is.
It's a local high school team. They developed a robotic machine, kind of like
Like
your
this-
remote control car.
The smart kids?
Could be the handsy guys too.
Yeah.
They know how to fix it.
Mechanics.
The mechanic guys.
Okay.
They got it.
It's a combination.
I won't get edited for that comment, will I?
I don't know. Probably not. Darcy Tracy's probably not
You guys knew anything about that.
I'm not saying that.
What's going on with
I have no
do
idea.
know that. I know many of the kids last year that were on the team that put many hours in extra after school, late into the evenings, trying to get that machine.
Well, thanks for showing up, Paul. That was, yeah,
Last one.
you got a
Last
legit,
one.
Last
is
one.
this gonna be easy?
Yes.
Cause my head is pounding.
What is the favorite artist that you've had that has passed away in the past year? And why will you miss him?
Favorite artist that I've lost?
Artists.
Yes.
Tom Petty.
Wow.
Originality, uniqueness, didn't follow the genre all over the map. He did what he wanted to do, and just purely talented performer. Tom Petty by far.
What about Burt Reynolds? Does he go into the? Can I take Burt Reynolds?
Entertainment?
When did he die?
Like last Thursday, Wednesday, I think.
Yeah.
He did?
Yeah. 82 years
I
old.
was on a houseboat trip.
Heart attack. So yeah, Burt Reynolds, the sexiest man ever alive.
Lonnie Anderson.
And Lonnie, oh my gosh, I forgot about that. They were a thing
They were a
back
thing.
in the day. Yeah.
But no, I think he's asking for performers like singers, because we
What
lost
about,
a lot. David Bowie, we lost
How about Aretha Franklin?
Aretha Franklin, we lost Prince was 2 years ago. Boy, there's a lot of good ones. There's another one too, and I can't think of it.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good one.
Okay, so last one. Your favorite dish?
Favorite dish?
Bald eagle, loon.
Oh,
This might get edited.
and
Snake, I like Snake the best out of those
So,
three.
the Timberwolf,
Oh, jeez.
Burbot, squirrel, or beaver?
Bourbon.
I'm going with the bourbon as well.
Yes,
They
'cause I
tell-
know I can
they
eat
te-
that.
They tell me that it tastes like
Don't
lobster.
tell me it tastes like
And
it's
then
not a
that's what
poor
they
man's
tell me.
Favorite recipe with that animal?
fried.
Okay.
Are we done?
No, okay. Figure wise, real smart question.
Real sport question.
How do you think the Gophers are going to football team?
Well, they've won 2. I think they'll finish 2 and whatever. I don't think they'll win a game. Just because they struggled with 2 teams that, you know.
I'll say they'll win 4. They'll be ending the season 4-8.
I do like Fleck. I think they'll be really good after this year, but this is still a real trying year for them. They'll win 3, but I just don't see it happening this year. But Fleck will get this team to the.
Quarterback depth is a major issue. If the Annexted goes down, I don't know what happens with only one true quarterback on the depth chart. That is a scary situation.
Good question, though. I hate to put your Gophers down. I know you love them, but yeah. And next time we will edit Paul's card. We will read it before he
go on.
asks the questions. I know he owns the place, and he could say, "Well, move it elsewhere, boys." But those were tough questions, and that last one, holy buckets!
Thanks to Looney's, though.
Yeah, thank
for
you,
having
River
us
Looney's,
back again.
greatest place on the lake.
We appreciate it. Enjoyed very much.
Thank you. Don't take
Thanks,
it too
everybody.
serious.